I want to talk about feedback because in our life we need to get used to getting feedback. You know, when I was a kid, I would get so upset whenever my mom would say something negative about me or about anything that I did. I would feel like, how dare she tell me what I'm doing wrong? And if I felt that way about my own mom, you can imagine how I felt about other people giving me feedback. So I really got used to just avoiding feedback. Like if someone had something negative to say, I would leave the room. I would shut down. I would argue. I would do whatever I could to avoid hearing any type of negative feedback. And then, one day, I realized that that is not healthy. You know, I'm never going to be perfect, and if I expect people to always agree with me or to always have the same opinion as me or to always think I'm doing a good job, well then, I'm never going to learn, and I'm never going to grow. So now I love getting feedback. If someone has something negative to say, I ask them to elaborate. I try to understand why they feel this way, and I try to see where their point of view is coming from. The thing is, when you actually want to get better at something and you want to grow, you need to be open to feedback, especially if it's constructive criticism, meaning that the person telling you the feedback actually wants you to get better. They actually care about you. That's why they're taking the time out of their day to tell you something that you might not want to hear. So don't get defensive. Don't get upset. Try to understand where they're coming from. And if it's true, and if it's something you can actually change, then make sure you change it. You know, if your friend tells you, hey, you smell bad, don't get upset. Just think to yourself, wow, maybe I should take a shower next time before I go out. If your girlfriend or boyfriend tells you, hey, you gained some weight, don't get upset. Think to yourself, maybe I should go to the gym more often. Maybe I should watch what I eat. And if it's something that you can change, then make sure you do it. And even if it's something that you can't change, still acknowledge what they said. Thank them for their honesty, and move on. Now, here's a little tip that helped me out a lot. When someone gives you feedback, try to ask them, how can I do this better? Or what can I do to fix this? You know, if someone tells you something that you did wrong, instead of getting upset about it, try to focus on how you can make things better next time. And this will help you become a much better version of yourself. Okay, so I want to share a very quick story about how my views on feedback changed. When I was about 20 years old, I started working at McDonald's. I know. But listen, we all start somewhere, right? And I needed a job and McDonald's hired me, so I started working there and I was making McMuffins. I was cooking breakfast all day. And every time I would cook a plate of McMuffins, my manager would come by and check them. If they were too big, he would say, hey, don't make them so big next time. If they were too small, he would say, hey, don't make them so small next time. If they were burnt, he would say, hey, don't burn them next time. And I hated it. I would get so frustrated. I would think, how dare he tell me how to do my job? I already know how to do my job. But after a while, I started thinking, maybe he's right. Maybe I do need to pay attention to what he's saying. And you know what? The next time I made a plate of muffins, I tried to listen to the feedback that he gave me, and I tried to make them better. And guess what happened? He didn't come by and say anything. He didn't come by and yell at me. He didn't come by and tell me anything that I did wrong. And I thought to myself, wow, maybe listening to feedback and being open to it actually makes my job easier, and it makes me a better employee. So here are 3 reasons why you should start caring about other people's opinions and feedback. Number 1, it will make you a better decision maker. The more you listen to different perspectives, the more you will be able to think critically and make better decisions. You know, when I was in school, back in high school and in college, I would always think that I was right. And even if my teacher or my professor would say something that I disagreed with, I would still think, no, I'm right, they're wrong. But now that I'm older, I'm more experienced. I've made mistakes. I've learned from those mistakes, and now I'm more open to different perspectives. And that helps me become a much better decision maker. Number 2, it will make you a better leader. If you want to be a leader, you need to listen to your team members. You need to listen to what they have to say. Even if you disagree with them, you still need to listen, and then make a decision that you think is best for everyone. So don't just think that you're always right. Be open to others' opinions. Ask them questions. Understand where they're coming from. And that will make you a much better leader. Number 3, it will make you happier. You know, when you're in your bubble, when you only surround yourself with people who agree with you all the time, you will never grow, you will never learn, and you will always think that you're right, and that's not healthy. You know, I read this book called The Happiness Trap, and the author says that we need to learn how to embrace negative emotions such as anger, shame, fear, sadness, envy. We need to learn how to accept these emotions, and we shouldn't try to avoid them all the time, because that's what causes us to suffer. And I think that applies to feedback as well. We need to be open to it. We need to be able to accept it, and we need to be able to learn from it. Okay, so I want to share one last story about how I dealt with negative feedback when I first started my channel. I remember reaching out to this guy. His name is Andrew Cartwright. He's a well-known YouTuber, and I messaged him. I said, "Hey, I saw your message asking for video ideas. I'd love to work with you. I have some video ideas." And I sent him a list of video ideas. And he responded with one sentence. He said, "None of these ideas are good." And I almost quit. I almost stopped making videos because I thought, well, I worked hard on these video ideas. I thought they were good, but I guess he thinks they're bad. So maybe I should stop. But then I thought to myself, no. You know what? I reached out to him. He gave me feedback. Now it's up to me to either prove him wrong or prove him right. So I went ahead and I worked hard on these video ideas. I wanted to prove him wrong. And guess what happened? Those videos ended up doing really well. And I proved him wrong. But I couldn't have done that if I wasn't open to his feedback. I could have easily gotten upset. I could have gotten angry. I could have thought, who does he think he is to tell me what to do? But instead, I thought, you know what? Let me prove him wrong. And that's what you need to do as well. So whenever someone gives you feedback, whether it's positive or negative, always ask yourself, how can I use this to my advantage? How can I use this to become a better version of myself? And don't ever let anyone hold your goals hostage. Meaning that if someone asks you to do something that goes against your morals, your ethics, your values, never let anyone hold your goals hostage. Never let anyone force you to do something that you're not comfortable with. You need to be in control of your actions and you need to be in control of the results. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, make sure you subscribe to the channel and I'll see you next time.